Good morning. My name is Rhonda Sabatini with the Marks Group, and today we're going to be showing you the tips and tricks for May 2020. First, I'm going to show you the pinning of apps and frequently used items in Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM. Right here is the main screen once you log into Dynamics 365 Home. And these are the apps that are available to me on my home screen. I frequently use the Sales Hub, and this is the interactive interface. There's 3 dots that are in the small application box here. And what I'm going to do is right-click on that, and there is a pin this app item that's listed here. And once I right-click on that, I'm going to be able to choose Pin That App. And that is going to move the application to the top of my screen under Pinned Apps. You can do that for any number of applications that you use on a regular basis. That will make that application readily available to you anytime that you log into Microsoft Dynamics 365 Home. So from there, we're going to move into the application itself. And this will bring up the dashboard that you're used to seeing once you log in. And here over to the left, we have the usual activity that you're used to using, your home and recent pinned, my work, customers, sales, and marketing activity. Under recent, this is basically a little audit trail of everything that you've done while you've been in the application. And if you click under pinned using the drop-down arrow, you can see that you haven't, or I haven't, pinned any activity that I've used frequently or often. But if I go into accounts that I follow on a regular basis, for example, in this example, 123 Incense, this is an account that I'd like to look at regularly, or if there's other accounts that I look at, for example, my active accounts, and I don't want to go under customers and accounts to do a search, what I can do is go under recents, and I can pin that activity so that I can go to that immediately upon logging in. And the way in which I can do that is I can click on the little thumbtack here on the left, and upon doing that, that will now show up under pinned. I can also remove that under the pinned activity by clicking on Remove from Pinned by right-clicking on that, and it'll be removed from pinned activity. Next, we're going to cover qualifying multiple leads in bulk. And so we're going to go back to the home screen here. And the first thing that I like to do is look at the administrative settings just to make sure that we have the proper administrative rights and set up for this type of activity that we're going to be doing. So the first thing that I suggest doing is going into the small wheel here at the top of the right-hand screen and clicking on that and scrolling down to Advanced Settings. Sometimes it's going to think here. Give it a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then once we get into its advanced settings, then it's going to bring up this business management screen. And this is not exactly where we're going to work. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go into settings and we're going to move into administration. And then from administration, what we're going to do is we're going to go into system settings. And once we're in system settings, what we're going to be doing is going into sales. So we're going to be looking at the attributes of sales records. So whenever we are qualifying a lead, and whenever when we're qualifying a lead and we're doing it in bulk, we have the option of creating also the account, contact, and opportunity, which is really quite efficient. But also too, we have the optionality of not creating those records and holding off on that. Some organizations want to wait and create those records independently. So this setting here, once we scroll down to the bottom of our screen, there's a setting that says qualified lead experience. So when this setting is checked to yes, it will create an account, contact, and opportunity record by default once we qualify a lead. If this is selected no, then you will receive a prompt on your screen asking you which record types you would like to create when a lead is qualified. So in this case, we have this checked as yes. So when we go in and we qualify a lead, even in bulk, those record types will be created as well. So we're going to go ahead and close out of this administrative setting. And now we're going to go ahead into our leads. Okay, so let's go back to our main screen here. And we're going to go scroll down to our leads. And as you can see, I have my open leads available here. Now in this example, I only have 2, but you could have maybe 25 or 5 or 10, let's say. What we're going to do here is we're going to select all, and to do that, we just simply click on the checkbox or the check mark, excuse me, and then we will click on qualify. A processing notification will appear on your screen. And you'll notice that you'll have no open leads on your screen once everything finishes processing. Next, we're going to want to make sure that we have created those records that we discussed earlier whenever we looked at those administrative settings. So we're going to need to make sure that we created the opportunity, that we created the account, and then we also created the contact or the customer. So what I like to do is go into the opportunity and then verify the account and the contact from there. So one of the leads, and I should have called this out, was the lead was Herb Smith. So I'm going to go into opportunities, and I'm going to do a search here on the name. That makes it easier. Oh, and I'm going to actually filter this on all opportunities and then search on his name. And you'll see here that her painting came up, so that's the potential customer. And when I bring up that opportunity, we're going to see here that that the account name that's been created, or the account that's been created, is Herb Painting, right? And then we're also going to see that the primary contact has also been created here as well within the opportunity. So that has been successful, and we've been able to qualify multiple leads in bulk. Okay, so we're going to go back home. And now this next part is a continuation of a series that we've been writing, and that is when you're migrating to a new CRM. And it's regarding the integrity of data and making sure that that data is cleansed, and then maintaining the integrity of that data moving forward. So something that we'll be covering next is deduplicating and cleansing the data. And this is a tool that exists today in Microsoft 365 CRM. And so next we're going to go into some settings in the advanced settings and system settings that can be used to work on deduplicating some accounts and contacts that may exist in the data that you've already worked to migrate over to your new CRM, and then some rules that you can work to utilize as well as put in place to maintain the integrity of that data moving forward. So where we're going to go next is we're going to go back to the little wheel here in the right-hand side of your screen, and we're going to go into advanced settings again. And we're going to move back to the business management screen. However, we're not going to work there again. We're going to go into settings, and now we're going to go into data management. And within data management, you'll see there's duplicate detection jobs, and then there's duplicate detection roles. First, we're going to move into duplicate detection jobs. And duplicate detection jobs. We'll focus on creating a new duplicate detection job. Okay, so there's this duplicate detection wizard that can be utilized here. You'll go ahead and click next. And this duplicate detection wizard is going to allow you to look at a couple different things, right? As I mentioned earlier, you can look at certain records. You can go ahead and look at accounts, contacts, leads, as well as social profiles. And we'll look at accounts in this example. On your filters in the UI, under my work, some of the filters that you can look at, right, are accounts, and then you can filter down a little bit further, and you can look at accounts I follow, you can look at all the accounts, you can look at inactive accounts as well. And so then you can create a deduplication detection job that will filter through those items, and it will show you what records are duplicates. You can also add different, you can add additional rules and criteria within these basic duplicate detection, I guess, criteria up here that, that this wizard would look for. So then you would hit next. And this is a file name that this wizard comes up with, but you can name it something else. And then it'll come up with a start time and date. And then also you can run this job on a regular basis if you choose to do so. Also, you can be notified of when this job completes, and you can also have other folks within your team notified when the job completes running as well. So then you hit next, and this job will start running. And the great thing about this too is you can continue to do your work while the job runs in the background. I was able to do that, and I didn't have any issues, which was really nice. Now, when you hit submit, this is the message that will appear on the screen, and once it completes, it will provide a complete status, and if there's any issues, you'll be notified of that, and a detailed message will be provided. You'll also be provided with a file that'll have output of the duplicate records. Now, next we'll go to the duplicate detection rules. And we will follow the same process in getting to the duplicate detection rules. So we would go to the advanced settings by clicking on the wheel here. We'll go back to settings and data management, right? But we'll go into the duplicate detection rules. And there are rules that are created by the system, or they're out of the box. And you can see that under created by. This is a custom rule down here at the bottom that I created. I was just experimenting and doing some work on my own to see how easy and flexible the system was in accepting a custom rule. But I will show you one that's out of the box. And so here is a duplicate detection rule for accounts with the same email address. So if we double click on that, here's some of the criteria that the duplicate detection rules look for. So generally, the name of the rule is, accounts with the same email address, and here's a description below. And the base record type is account. This can change, obviously, based on the role. It could be looking for another record type like contact or social profile, and the matching record type should be the same. You can, it's looking for whether it's case sensitive, whether it's inactive or active. So whether that's going to be included or not, or excluded. And then there is the criteria, right? And so in this case, it needs to be an exact match. Below, there is a bit of an audit trail, which is quite nice. And so it will tell you where it was created, how it was created, whether it's been modified, etc. And then also too, notes can be added down here also. And then what's also important too is the rule needs to be published. So without it being published, it's inactive, and that's something to also be mindful of. And so that would be all today for the tips that I have to show you in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And if there's any questions or if you encounter any issues, please feel free to reach out to myself, Rhonda Sabatini, or anyone here at the Marks Group. We'll be happy to help you and assist you in any way. It's been a pleasure being with you this morning, and take care of yourself. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.